Johnny, question for you.
Yeah.
If I was somewhere in Kokomo and it wasn't our house and it wasn't the flower shop, where would I be?
Easy. Humble home.
Yes, you're right. You guys, listen up. Humble Home is my absolute favorite place to be for so many reasons. No matter what I am looking for, I always check Humble Home first. Clothes, shoes, toys, decor, furniture, makeup, they literally always have something that I need. They have brand name items for cheap. Their inventory is constantly changing, so it's part of my weekly routine to do a Humble Home walkthrough. You absolutely need to stop by. I promise you won't be disappointed. While it is a discount store, it's not your average discount store. It's clean, organized, and everything has its place. I get zero anxiety when I go in, unlike other discount stores. And no matter what you're shopping for, a home project, gifts, home decor, even seasonal decor, they will have it. They are open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Sunday from noon to 5. You can follow them on Facebook at Humble Home Kokomo and watch for new items every single day. And for our Lafayette, Indiana listeners, I have exciting news. They are opening a second location in Lafayette soon. As soon as I have the details, I will let you know their opening date. Get excited. I'm Kayla Keith, and this is Missing Midwest, a true crime podcast about those that have gone missing. Today's story is a tragic case of a missing teen girl from Indiana, Ella Saylor.
Hey.
What's up?
I feel like I've heard this name before.
You probably have. It's pretty recent. 2023, 2024-ish.
Wait. 2023? That's 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's new.
Wow.
It is. It's crazy. Announcements. You guys don't pay to be a subscriber, so you have to listen to our announcements. If you subscribe for $5 a month, then you can listen to Murdered Midwest, and we don't make you listen to us talk.
Well, I mean,
So
we do make you listen to us talk, just not for announcements.
Yeah. So you should subscribe. It's only $5. You get a new episode every week on Fridays instead of Saturdays, and they are murdered episodes.
You get stickers, too. We send you stickers.
We'll send you stickers. So yeah, what do you got? You got announcements?
We're at like 65 bonus episodes.
Yeah,
So
and a
you
new one
pay
every week.
$5.
That'll keep you entertained for a long time.
I mean, yeah. Think about it. That's like 2 months worth. If you listen to one a day.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Announcements. I hyperfixated on drawing some. I was going to draw one new t-shirt design and ended up drawing 5.
Here's how the conversation went. Kayla said, I think I'm going to make a new design for shirts. And I said, hey, have fun. And then she made 5.
Yep, that's exactly what happened. And they are all on the website now. I love them. There's a couple that are like cutesy shirts, like True Crime All the Time. And then I made one that says Coffee and True Crime Podcasts. That's cute. And there's some like different fun colors just because I wanted some like true crime shirts, not just like Missing Midwest shirts. So if you buy those, that supports us. We appreciate it. We are running. If you haven't followed us on social media, please do that. We are on Facebook and Instagram, and we're doing a Facebook giveaway right now. And we are going to give away an item of your choosing to one winner. So every design comes in a t-shirt, a long sleeve, a crew neck, or a hoodie. And so if you win, you get to pick whatever design and whatever type of item you want, and we will send it to you for free. So we're doing that right now. And we're also going to put a little special present in the first 10 orders. So if you go and order something on the website, you will get something extra. So do it, please. Anything else?
Exciting stuff.
It's so exciting.
You better hurry, too, because we told the murdered people that yesterday.
And I told them yesterday, so they might have already snagged the first 10 free gifts. I'm not sure. But I might throw a few extra in for my missing people, even though you don't subscribe.
We can look at how many people ordered today on this day, this release.
Yeah, for sure.
There we go.
Shout out to our sponsors. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Heck yeah.
Bo Digital. Freaking love Bo Digital. They're like the nicest people ever, and they make having small businesses easier. And I have like 12 small businesses.
Business growers right there.
Humble Home. I was there today.
I'm shocked.
I know. I went, and they have the cutest little Valentine stickers, and I bought some for your class so they can decorate their Valentine boxes.
They'll be hyped about that.
And I wasn't in the mood today, so I passed the Easter section, but it's really good.
Tomorrow when you go there.
Tomorrow I will probably be in the mood, and I'll buy the Easter stuff. So yeah. And then Stacy Westfall, my girl. I love her. If you want to buy a house, sell a house, let her know. Anything else?
Or she might be there to save you if you're in fire. She's also a firefighter.
She's a firefighter, and she could save you from a fire. She's kind of scary.
In a good way.
In a good way. She could probably throw anyone over her shoulder and get them out of a burning building. Not probably. She could. She's a firefighter. It's her job. So.
A legend. She's a legend. Stacey, you're a legend. All right. I didn't even you gave all the announcements.
I did.
I didn't even do any of the announcements.
I don't have any more.
You did my job. I'm good. You did great.
Okay.
Moving on. Let's hear your story.
Ready?
Tell me about Ella.
We are going to Muncie, Indiana.
We were there a couple weeks ago.
We were?
Yeah.
I wasn't.
Ashley Mullis. No, like our episode. Like our.
I was like,
Jeez.
I have not been to Muncie, Indiana in a very long time.
Since we were at Saylor, probably.
Yes, we did a case in Muncie.
Yeah,
Indiana.
that's what I meant. Sorry.
If you're in Muncie, Indiana, you might want to be. A lot of people going missing from there, apparently.
Jeez.
Actually, we did find out in our research, like Delaware County was like really bad for missing people.
I mean, what was that? Like 2013 or so? It was the highest in the state.
So no joke. Like, watch your back over there in Muncie, Indiana. So 51,000 people. So I feel like that's similar to Kokomo, right?
Yeah.
They only have like $1 General, which seems like not enough. Sidebar: Dollar General needs to sponsor us. Also, Dollar General has their spring decor out, and it's really good. So you should go. Okay, so we're actually going to start our story. So Ella is missing from Muncie, Indiana. But we're going to start our story in Marion, Indiana.
Oh, I taught there.
Johnny taught in Marion, Indiana. So this is 2013. So you weren't there yet.
Correct. I got there in 2015.
2015 is when you started teaching there.
Yep.
November 29th, 2013, though, DCS, which is the Department of Child Services in Indiana, they get a call of some really bad living conditions with some kids in it. And so they go to a home, and when they get there, they find Ella, who is 5 years old, and she is taking care of her newborn sister by herself. And they use the word deplorable. They said that there was no electricity, no running water, no food. They said that one of the neighbors used to throw an extension cord over the fence so that they could use the electricity, like make the kids could use
so
it.
sad, but also like maybe call the police instead of doing that.
Apparently, they had been reported.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
You know how DCS works.
Yeah, that's fair.
This entire case.
No judgment on the cord throws. Thank you for helping.
No, this entire case is going to be like boo DCS, which if you've ever worked with DCS, you know.
Okay.
If you know, you know. And so DCS finally goes. The neighbor actually had to move away, and so they didn't have any so that was like her one people that like kind of helped her out as a small 5-year-old child with no food. And so DCS comes, and January 1st, the kids are removed and they go to foster care. Okay, so this is 2013, 5 years old, in foster care. Why did it take from November 29th to January 1st to remove children from that situation? That's going to be our first mark against DCS in this case, because I know it's a process and it takes a long time, but that's awful.
Actually, like removing, like it depends.
I cannot imagine walking into a home and seeing a 5-year-old girl taking care of a newborn that has no food, no water, no electricity, and it taking over a month to get them to removed.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Anyway. I know Johnny's dealt with DCS with like being a teacher and stuff. I have very limited knowledge of DCS, but from what I hear, I hate it. So anyway, moving on. March 2016, 2 years later, DCS has moved Ella 18 times.
In 2 years?
18 foster placements for Ella. She has been going from home to home. When finally Elizabeth and Philip Saylor, they have been the foster parents to like over 20 kids. They couldn't have kids of their own, and they finally decided after trying a few different ways that they were going to foster, that there were kids that needed help, and that's what they were going to do. And so there was like a caseworker that had asked the Saylors like 3 different times if they would take in Ella and her little sister because they really wanted to keep the girls together. And Elizabeth and Philip said no 3 different times. They were like, we can't do it. We already have foster kids. Like, we're not doing it. And on the 3rd time, they agreed. And they said, okay, fine. They said, we will do it. And so they took in Ella and her little sister. And 2 years later, in 2018, they decided to officially adopt them. So Ella became Ella Saylor. So everything's going great. The Saylors reported, they said, there's definitely ups and downs in this situation. And like when you're dealing with a kid that has been through the trauma that Ella has been through, like there's going to be like special needs and special things. And you know how that goes. And so, but they said for the most part, it was really good. Happy family. In the fall of 2019, Ella started middle school at Muncie Northside Middle School. Okay. She immediately fell into a really bad crowd. Her mom and dad said that she completely changed and was no longer the little girl that they knew. Bad grades, being disrespectful to teachers, and they didn't like it, and they were like, no, you're done. And so they pulled her out in February. So literally she started that fall, and by February they were like, no, you are not going down this path. Like, you're going to be homeschooled. Like, you're going to get your butt straight. Go, which good for them.
That's
like,
parenting. That's
parenting.
Yeah.
That is good. I would do.
I mean, that's hard. But
that's hard, but I would do the same freaking thing. If I saw my kid going down a path and I thought that the people she was around at school and I couldn't control it, like, yeah, your butt's staying at home with me. And so that is February of 2020. They're going to homeschool her, okay? Well, you know what happens in March of 2020, right? COVID.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say March Madness, but you're right, in 2020.
March Madness and also COVID. And so they were going to homeschool her just for a little bit and, like, give her the chance to, like, earn her way back into school, but ended up being a lot longer than they had anticipated. And so she actually was homeschooled all through middle school. She did great at home. They said that she had great grades. Her and her mom bonded a lot because they got to go shopping together, and they spent every day together. And so they really liked, where they were at. It was good. And they tell her if she keeps up the good work, keeps her grades up, keeps her nose straight. Right. Is that right? Nose straight? Head on straight? What's the saying?
I don't know. Now that you say it, now it's nose straight.
Her nose and her head are straight. And she's doing great. And they were like, if you keep it up, we will let you go to high school and public school, which, fair.
Yeah, I mean, that should be the goal from the jump, right? Like when you take her out.
Her mom later said in an interview that I read, that was the worst thing that they could have done.
That makes me sick. Yeah. That seems like the right thing to do. It
seemed like the right thing to do. They said it was downhill for the Saylors from there, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. So they were very strict with their kids. Not like in a bad way at all. From what I read, like, go to your room. They would take items away.
Parenting.
They're parenting.
Fair
strict enough. Parenting. They had one cell phone that they would leave on the kitchen counter for people to use, supervise, no internet access, stuff like that. But at some point, someone gave Ella a cell phone at school, and she hid it from her parents. And she proceeded to get all the social medias, including Snapchat, which is awful. At some point, her mom found it and was like livid and took it away. But she just got another one.
Oh my God.
Bo Digital is the secret ingredient you need for success in marketing your small business. From logos and flyers to social media and videos, Bo Digital can create the marketing you need to set yourself apart. Oh, and they build websites too. Not only do they help my small business, but did you know that they help many others around Kokomo too, including Solidarity Community Credit Union, the Lindy Owsley and Chanel Cahill Real Estate Team, Hope Behavioral Services, and even the Kokomo Symphony. Let Bo build a custom plan for you today. Learn more at bowdigital.com. That's BOWE digital.com. In September of 2023, just 1 month after being in school, Ella's parents woke up for school at 7 a.m. to get their kids ready, and Ella was gone. They found a note from Ella that basically said she was leaving, she was running away. She said she just couldn't do it anymore, is what the note said. And they were like, what in the world? Like, they immediately called the police, and police were at their house by 7 a.m. They started talking to her friends, and they found out about that second cell phone. And they found out that she had all these social medias again. And then also her friends were like, yeah, she uses Snapchat to talk to like boys all the time.
Not good.
One of her friends knew what her account name was. Okay. And her mom was able to guess the password. She guessed it.
What?
Yeah. Which just goes to show you, this is a little girl. Like, honestly, and I don't want to say dumb, but like a little girl. Like, she didn't even pick couldn't even pick a password that your mom wouldn't be able to guess.
Right.
Because she's a child.
I was going to say.
Little.
How old? She's a freshman?
14.
Okay.
She's 14 years old. So her mom's like, oh, let me try this. Yep, found it. And so they get in and they see who she's been talking to. And they show the police. And the police are able to look, and they find the exact location of the cell phone.
Oh my gosh.
Because on Snapchat, you can track where you're at. And so they found out that she had been talking to 2 boys and engaging in some risky Snapchat behavior with these boys. She gave these boys her home address, and these boys drove all the way from Indianapolis to pick her up.
Oh my gosh.
These boys turned out to be 2 grown men.
Oh, here we go.
Police were able to track her and find her within 2 days in Indianapolis, and they went and they picked her up. The men were arrested, but they were later released because they were able to see, like, in the messages, Ella told them that she was 18, which she was not. She was 14, which to me, I'm like, okay, you're a grown man. Like, you can't tell the
They
difference.
still don't get in trouble for that, though?
A 14-year-old and an 18-year-old.
I feel like I've heard of stories where guys get in trouble for this.
It's a lot of gray area when it comes to stuff like that. So anyway, they were in jail for a while. They were later released, I guess, whatever. So they actually took Ella to Riley Children's Hospital, where she spent like 2 weeks in a behavioral unit, just for what I assume like defiant teens
Sure.
type things. Okay.
Well, I'm assuming this is a little bit deeper of a mental situation than just I don't like my parents.
I mean, it sounds like she's dealing with a lot from her child. Like I said, the trauma and
yeah, fair enough.
I mean, come on, like. And then you hit puberty and you're exposed to bull. It's just like, I think it all just hit her at once, because they said everything was pretty great after the adoption and like when she was homeschooled and everything. But when she got in with that bad crowd and just turned into this like defiance thing.
That's sad.
So on October 3rd, 2023, Ella gets returned home to her parents in Muncie. Okay. And this behavioral team that had her for 2 weeks, they meet with the parents and they have this whole plan. Okay. Like, Ella has a behavioral plan, how we're going to control her, what we're going to do with her. No electronics. They say, you need to have locks on your doors, locks on your windows. They go over, like, all these different, like, behavioral warning signs, and not sleeping, not eating, blah, 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 because when she was with those men, they had given her tons of drugs and alcohol. So now we've thrown that into the mix. And so her parents are like,
you know what can make this worse? Drugs and alcohol.
So they're like, listen, like, these are the signs of drugs and alcohol. Like, this is what you need to look for if she's like started it again, blah, blah, blah. And so her parents are on board. Like, they're ready to help. They know it's going to be obviously challenging, but they're like, we're not going to let her go down this path. Like, we are going to do whatever we need to do. This is our daughter. Like, we're going to keep her
Good
locked.
for them.
Like, we're going to have locks on her doors. We're going to make sure she can't sneak out anymore. She's not going to have access to cell phones. She's not going to have access to the internet. They take her to see a therapist regularly, individually, and as a family. Like, they're literally
doing everything they can.
But there's a problem. Okay. Ella's pissed. Ella comes home and she is freaking spicy mad. She's probably embarrassed. Her parents ripped her out. The police came in, raided this party that she was having with these boys, men, whatever. I'm sure there was probably I'm grown up. I'm sure she thought she's an adult and there's, let me fly, let me spread my wings.
Yikes.
Bullshit, like, whatever. I can just hear myself as a 14-year-old girl thinking that my parents are ruining my life. I mean, I never did anything like that, but like, I know that's what's happening.
She's like, I was hoping that like the time at Riley would like be the buffer to where it wasn't like this.
It didn't. Well, okay, it might have. Listen, because so she's spicy mad when she gets home. Okay, no, you're right. It didn't help, but okay. So she's mad. She ends up accusing her parents of abuse.
Oh no!
And so she says that they are mentally abusive and neglectful. And by October 20th, so October 3rd is the day she comes home. October 20th, DCS removed her and her sister.
Really?
And the 2 other siblings that DCS had placed with the Saylors as well, because Ella's birth mom, mom of the year over here, has also had 2 more children. And
they took them too.
And in order to keep
the siblings together,
wow. They asked the Saylors.
So these people are saints.
From everything I read, they really are. I honestly, when I was looking in this case, I'm like, okay, like, I'm going to peel back some layers here and get to the tea. Like, these people probably are bad. Maybe they are like these crazy, strict religious cult parents that don't let their kid. No, they actually are amazing. They were like, from everything. I did not see, like, I'm telling you, I research a lot. I did not see one bad word about the parents. Like, the Saylors, not one Facebook comment had anything bad to say about them, which is rare, because anytime you look at a case, there's 2 sides to every story.
Right.
And there's always somebody to spill the tea on each side, and nobody was spilling any tea on the Saylors. So I think that they're fine. I don't think that they were abusive at all. I think she was just pissed that she couldn't do what she wanted to do. She wanted a cell phone, and she was going to say whatever she needed to do to get away from her parents. And it worked, because DCS removed her sister, and her 2 other siblings. So the Saylors were not even interviewed by DCS before they came in and took these children. Which
Wait a
I
minute.
have so many questions about this whole
Okay, I mean,
the
okay.
DCS process because it sucks. Let me just tell you, the reunification crap that they do sucks.
Okay, and I'm going to say this too, though, real quick. As a teacher, I've had situations where I've had to contact DCS. I've been involved with administration who are trying to help kids through DCS and stuff. Out of every situation that I've seen, and I've seen some really bad situations, no kid has ever been taken away.
Yeah, that's
and
what I'm
there's
saying.
there's 3 or 4 situations where like, okay, this is happening. Like even the administration's like, yeah, this is happening.
I would say
like, these
more
kids are getting
times
taken
than
out.
like if
I've never been involved in a situation where a kid was taken out, even when they should have been.
My thing is like, even if a kid is like saying abuse, I would say more times than not, it's a kid that's probably mad and crying wolf because usually when they're abused, they don't say anything anyway. So like, I would think the least DCS could do is interview these parents. Like that you asked them to take these kids 3 times and they said no, and then they finally did, and now like.
So in all of my situations, none of the kids have been saying abuse. It's just been like things that we see as teachers, things that
they
happen.
Should have been removed and weren't.
And in at least 2 of the situations I can think of, an interview with the parents has been like, yeah, I need to take this kid out. Like the parents were like not fully functioning, like at least like not as.
I literally have in my notes, they took the kids, which for DCS moving that quickly seems very unusual. It usually takes multiple reports for them to ever do anything.
Yeah, very unusual.
So Ella is in a new home, okay? And her mom is like, okay, like you won't listen to me. You didn't even interview me. For the love of God, please make sure her new foster family knows like the situation. The situation being like she's already ran away. She's in with these bad crowds. Like we're trying to keep her out of public school. Like she's trying to be defiant. We're trying to be very strict with her, keep her off the internet, no cell phone, blah, blah, blah. And DCS is like, yeah, we'll tell him. Okay?
This is going to go well.
Yeah. But they didn't tell them. And the new foster family in the new city that Ella was sent to gave her her very own cell phone. They also placed her in the public school system. And it went downhill fast.
Oh, man.
3 months later, that foster family requested her to be removed from their home. And they said that they were not scared of Ella, like, hurting them or herself, but they were afraid for their foster license because of the lies that Ella was threatening them with. So she's, like, turned into this, like, manipulative little teenager. She knows what she needs to say.
Yeah, well, I got all my last family's kids taken away.
Yep. So she knows. Kids are smart. She knows what to do. So she's threatening with some lies. They're like, listen, we don't want to lose our foster license over this little, 14 liar. And so they remove her from this house eventually, but before she gets removed. So this entire time back with the Saylors in Muncie, they are paying like mega bucks to a lawyer to help them with all of this. And they are doing these like fact-finding court sessions trying to like prove that they haven't been abusive to their daughter and all of this stuff, which sidebar, I did not think DCS could take a kid once you legally adopted them. I mean, I guess they can because they can take your own biological kids, but like, I don't know. I thought it was weird. I don't like, wouldn't they go to family instead of back in the fosters? I don't know what happened. Anyway. Stanley Cleaning Company has an exciting new service they are offering, and I can't wait to tell you about it. Laundry. Yes, they will come to your house, and for $15 a load, they will pick it up, take it, wash it, dry it, fold it, and bring it back to you. This is something I have dreamed about since I became an adult and started doing laundry on my own. Hit them up and get your place cleaned and your laundry done by my friends over at Stanley Cleaning Company. You can find them on Facebook or give her a call or a text at 765-860-3606. So they're in court. They're doing all these sessions. They have an actual mental health therapist. She has been the Saylor's therapist since 2017. She was like the family therapist and Ella's therapist, and she testified that they were not abusive at all. She said, I have never seen any abuse or any signs of abuse. She said the Saylors are strict, which is fine. That's what they need. They need structure. Yeah. She said, like, the only punishments that I've ever even heard Ella talk about is she has to go to her room, she gets items taken away, and occasionally they would make them like write sentences. Make the kids write sentences. Like she said, totally fine. I was
like, say that is
forms of punishment.
That's good.
Yeah. And so she was like, no, they're not, not abusive at all. So this is a sidebar, but for Christmas that year, Elizabeth said that they had a church, their home church, and the church like collected a bunch of money and a bunch of gifts for the kids because they had spent so much money on legal fees. They were like having trouble with Christmas for that year. And so the church like bought a bunch of stuff. And she said when the Amazon driver came, they had some like 2 other kids that they had already adopted that didn't get taken away. They only took away like the siblings, which like if you truly believe that they are neglectful and abusing, why didn't you take all of the children in the house and not just those 2 boys ran and hid because they thought that someone was coming to take them away, and they didn't want to go. Like they were, she said, like literally traumatized. Like the entire family has been traumatized by this because this entire family has just been broken up.
Jeez.
And so anyway, so this whole thing, traumatic. They go to court. They find everything to be just fine, and Ella and the kids were returned home. But not the baby sister. There was a newborn baby sister that they took, and still to this day, they don't know where that sister. They were going in the process of adopting her as well because she was one of the siblings, and they gave the newborn to somewhere in the foster system, and they still don't. They never saw that baby yet. Yeah. And so, on Ella's 15th birthday, January 30th of 2024, DCS returned Ella to the Saylors, and they said the first night was really bad. Lots of screaming, lots of yelling, but they said the next 3 days was really good. Elizabeth said they hung out. They just like started finding their way back together, like with all of them under the same roof again. She said she took her shopping, and they actually went to the grocery store and bought all of the things to make Ella's like favorite dinner. It was some sort of like,
this is making my heart really happy, and I know it's not.
Yeah, and they were making this dinner together. But what they did not know was that Ella had a cell phone that she was hiding.
Where in the world did she get this?
I think it was a cell phone from the foster family. They didn't know she had it.
Oh.
So she smuggled it. They said that she must have hidden it or something. And after 3 days of being back home with the Saylors, they woke up to discover that Ella was missing again on February 3rd, 2024. And Ella has not been seen since.
That is a year.
Yeah. Police had said that Ella obviously learned from her first time running away, and she turned off the locations on all of her things. Elizabeth and Philip decided they let their foster license go. Like, they're not doing foster care anymore because they said that, quote, DCS did not conduct a proper investigation. They did not advise the temporary foster parents, and because they were because they were wrongfully removed from their children, they are currently looking into ways to hold DCS accountable. And so they're like trying to like sue DCS and like do this stuff. Ella Saylor was 15 when she went missing. 5 feet 4 inches, 230 pounds, light brown hair, brown eyes. She had braces. She was last seen wearing a gray hoodie with Washington DC on the front, and black pajama pants with puzzle pieces. She has possible ties to Indianapolis and Connorsville, as well as Auburn and Garrett, which is in northeastern Indiana.
Yeah, Auburn's like right on the line.
They said she was believed to be traveling with 2 bags, one gray backpack and the other was a carry-on sized adult suitcase. They say if you have any questions or any tips or anything, that you can reach out to the Muncie Police Department. It is seriously so freaking sad. Elizabeth Saylor said, it says, quote, "We are all traumatized. I go to see a therapist every week. I'm all screwed up. Phil and I see a therapist as a couple, and my kids see therapists too. We're in debt that I'm afraid we will never get out of, and all of this could have been avoided. There are policies and procedures put in place to avoid situations like this. Nothing is normal now."
It's so sad.
So sad.
So when you kept talking about Marion and Muncie, I thought like, maybe, I wonder if I know who this person is. So I actually looked her up on Facebook, and I saw that she had a post from January 30th that I wanted to read real quick, or at least part of it. It says, "Our hearts have been so heavy for such a long time, but for today especially, as Ella turns 16, and we have no idea where she might be. Phil and I want to thank everyone for their constant prayers. There have been so many who have showed us love and compassion. We don't know how this will all play out. Unfortunately, we still need you. We rest knowing that God goes before us." And then it just kind of says happy birthday to Ella and talks a little bit more about how she wants to fix their favorite dish and eat at Puerto Vallarta. And it's kind of all these details about their relationship. And that's just so sad because Because here's what I noticed too about parents that when they get their kids taken away, even though I've never been directly involved in any situations like that, I've been in schools that have. It's kind of like, okay, I'm done now.
They're not
most of the
posting on
time,
Facebook
it's like
years later.
they'll fight, and then their kids get taken away, and then it's kind of like, okay, my life is now, I'm moving on. Like it's rare in my experience, it is rare for parents to like fight this hard to get their kids back, let alone when they've been adopted. So like these parents care about this girl. I have no doubt.
Oh yeah. I was going to read one more quote. It says, Ella's purple thermos still sits on the kitchen counter at the Saylor house. And Elizabeth said, I love that girl. I'm afraid she's being held against her will, and I don't know if she will ever come home. And so from what I gathered online, there was like some different theories. Obviously, she left on her own free will, but we know that she was talking to sketchy people online. So best case scenario, she just wants to be an adult, which we see in her actions. She didn't want to listen to her parents. And so maybe she's just living until she turns 18. You know, maybe she's like, I don't want to be in foster care. I don't want to be under anybody. And then maybe she'll show up when she's 18 and she'll be fine. And maybe she's homeless or just bumming it with some people. I hope that's the case. I hope she's okay. And she just, doesn't want to listen to anybody. And so she ran away. But as she already did previously, she gave her address to some people who weren't who she thought they were, and ended up with some great men, into drugs and alcohol and God knows what else. There's also, she could have been trafficked. She's like literally perfect target for sex traffickers. Aside from the fact that she had a loving family that like would look for her, like she's a foster kid, she's defiant, she's got all of these issues. Trauma is like a huge thing for trafficking, and that's obviously something she was struggling with. And so there was like lots of theories, sex trafficking being one. Hopefully she just ran away. Or kidnapped. I mean, she could have ran away and then got kidnapped. Yeah. Or she could have been kidnapped not knowing that she was getting kidnapped. She could have met somebody and was going to meet them, and then they did something. So obviously it's a horrible story. Like, it was literally gut-wrenching. I told Johnny the other day, I was researching this case, and he came home and I was like, we have to find something like funny
positive to
watch, or positive or something, because all I have been reading about all day is missing children and listening to these quotes from a mom that so very clearly loves a child and she can't find her, and I'm done. I can't do it anymore. And so it was a rough case. This one was rough, and it's close to home, and
we're going to be posting the picture.
Yeah.
Ella,
I mean, keep your eyes open because they believe she's around here in the Midwest in Indiana. So I guess keep your eyes open. Double take if you see some kids that might look like her. She had braces on. How would she get her braces off? Like, I don't know. Yeah. Lots of questions. No answers. Someone knows something, though. We always say that, and I bet someone knows where Ella is. Hopefully they will tell us, or maybe Ella will one day.
This podcast is a So.Will.I.Studos production. So will I.
Did you know the Jefferson House of Flowers has been a local Kokomo florist for almost 100 years? Our trained designers make beautiful arrangements for literally any occasion. You can send flowers for any reason. Birthdays, anniversaries, get well, congratulations. The list goes on. We make flowers for funerals, weddings, proposals, and even proms. Let's be honest. Receiving flowers, whether you're at home or at your work, it makes you feel special. You get butterflies and you feel loved, and that's what sending flowers is all about, the feeling it creates. Call us at 765-452-8269 and let us create something special and send it out for you. Or you can stop in and see us at 4300 West, 100 North Kokomo. We always have a cooler full of flowers that are ready to go, as well as a boutique full of gifts. Shop local, support local, and send flowers.